Hey guys, so today's video is about creating graphs. Remember we went over this last semester, right? But you'll definitely need to know this for integrated assignment 1. So for week 7, under it I put up a file, right? It's an Excel sheet. It talks about very similar to what you have for the integrated assignment. Instead of green card data for every country, I have green card data per state. So let's open that up. So here we have the green card. So persons obtaining lawful permanent residence or green card status by state or territory, right? Instead of by country or region. And instead of the entire data set that you guys have from 1820 to 2018, we have it from a shorter time period, 2009 to 2018, but the idea is the same, right? You have your different states on your left hand corner, and then you have all the different years that shows how many green cards was received from each state, right? So remember, the first thing you want to do is freeze, right? Freeze the pane. That way the years doesn't disappear. For example, you see in B through K, I can't see what years these are, right? And same thing, if you go to the right, the states disappear, right? So I want to go to the topmost corner right here, right? So not over here, not within the words, right? Within this corner, that means that everything on the left of it and on top of it will be frozen. So you click on View, freeze panes, freeze, and then now you see the year stay, and also if you go to the right, the states stay locked in. Now, first thing we're going to be talking about is creating a line graph, right? So uh, in some of the tasks, I tell you to select either the regions or specific countries, right? And make line graphs out of that. Remember, you're expected to see multiple lines in one graph. So, for example, instead of 7 major regions, let's choose 7 um, states, right? And create a line graph out of that, right? So how many green cards were acquired between 2009 and 2018 for 7 different states? That's going to be our question. So let's choose Alabama, right? So we choose Alabama, let's say, right? Remember, you want to highlight, right click, copy, right? And always get in the habit of opening a new sheet, right? The first is your sheet, first sheet is your original, right? And you want to do your work in a separate sheet, right? And if you just paste it, remember, right click, paste it, you see it horizontally. We don't want it horizontally, we want it vertically. So I'm going to undo that. What we do is right click, transpose. That way we have it this direction, right? So I'm going to move that over here. This is going to be your years, right? So your years were 2009 to 2018. So I'm going to copy that as well. Copy. Again, under year, transpose. So I have my years. So let's just choose a couple of states. Alabama, let's choose Delaware. Cop, oops, copy. Right, and you guys go follow along as well for practice. Let's choose Hawaii. So Control C is copy. Remember, and let's paste. Let's do 2 more. Right, Maryland. Copy. And let's do New York. Right, so we have 5 states here, right? You guys are supposed to do 7 regions, but the idea is the same. You have 5 states, right? And their number of green cards that they got every year from 2009 to 2018, and we're going to make um, a line graph out of this. All right, now to create a line graph, you will need to highlight. And if you notice, I just made this into a table. Remember, you could just highlight this, press this, and then put borders around all. That will create borders around everything. Now, if you highlight all of it, you click on Insert and click on the chart that says Insert Line or area chart, right? Click on the first one. This is the chart you get, right? So here, each one of the lines is a different state, right? But what you notice is that over here it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up until 10, right? So some of you guys might get this little error, right? So instead of the year being shown from 2010, 2009 to 2018, it shows like this. So the way you fix that is you click on year, delete that label, delete this table, and then create new one. Now this time it should be from the years and up until 2018 with all the states in different color. So the graph looks like this. Each of the colors shows a different state. Now it's kind of obvious that New York has the highest green card holders, right, per year. But Maryland is in the second place, and everything else very close to the bottom, right? You barely have any from Delaware, Alabama, and Hawaii, right? So maybe this example, if I chose more states that had bigger metro cities, it would have been different. But that's how it will look if you graph it for 5. If you have 7 regions, you would have 7 lines, right? You would have 7 different colors instead of the 5 over here, right? So look, now this is incomplete. You would need to add axis and write an appropriate title, right? Now there's multiple ways of writing the axis. So some of you guys might have this plus button right next to it, right? That's probably the easiest. Plus, and then axis titles, and then you could start labeling them, right? If I did that, I could just start labeling. This would be the year. Let me close this. I don't need this. And this would be number of new green card holders, right? So this would be number of new green card holders. This would be the year, and the title would be line graph of green card holders of 5 states, right? So it'd be something similar, right? So that's one way if you have that plus, right? Let me zoom out a little, make this a little bit bigger, right? The legend is here. That tells you what each color stands for. The title is here. The axes are all there, right? Now, if you don't have this button, right? So let me uh, axis titles, right? If you don't have this button, there's this option right here as well, right? So if I click elsewhere, click on the graph, under chart design, on the left hand side, add chart elements, you could add axis titles. So primary horizontal, primary vertical, right? So again, you would put year, you would put number of green card holders, um, new green card holders, right? That's what you would put. So that's how you create a line graph. Next, let's talk about how to create a pie chart, right? So if I want to create a pie chart, let's say I choose 3 different, or let's say, again, let's do 5, but let's choose 5 different states again, right? But for the pie chart, I would only select 1 year. So not every year from 2009 to 2018, I would choose only 1 year, right? So let's say I choose the 7 regions. I mean, this one 7. We don't have 7 regions. Let's say we choose 7 states. So again, let's choose California. So I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna hold Control, right? Since I'm on Windows, I could copy this, and this won't copy anything in between, just those 2, right? So California, hold Control, and then this will select that, copy it, and right here, I'm gonna again write year. I'm gonna write state, and I'm gonna write number of, actually I don't even need year because there's only going to be 1 year. I just need the state and number of green card holders. So I'm gonna choose, let's say I'll choose the states first. So California, let's say I'll choose Florida, New York, Michigan. So let me write those down. So I create a new sheet, right? Again for this one. So California, New York, Michigan, Florida, Texas, right? Texas. What was that? 5 of them? Let's do 2 more. Texas. What else is a big state? All right, Illinois seems to have high numbers, so let's do Illinois. And see if we have one more good one. I'll just leave it for those. I'll just leave it for those 6. All right. I'm going to move this so they're right next to each other. So I want to write down what the number of green card holders were, right? So California, hold control, right? I'm going to hold control C, copy this. This is for California, right? Let me make this bigger. Let's say Illinois we had, copy, paste, Florida, copy, paste. What else did we have? New York, we had Michigan, 2018. Remember, Control C is copy, Control V is paste. New York and Texas was the last one. Right? So there's your 4 what is that, six states, right? Next we want to do some calculations using these numbers. So let's say I want to know so this is gonna number of green card holders in 2018, right? So this has to be in 2018. It's not all, it's just for that year. Let's say I want to calculate the total. So the total would be, remember, sum of all of this. That's your total, right? Now the percentage, right? The percentage would be, remember, each one of the states divided by the total. So for California, divided by the total, right? Hit equal sign, I got that, right? Now if I do this continuously, you see how I get this div/0, right? Because what is it doing? For California, if I click on it, it shows California's divided by the total. This one, it says New York's divided by some blank number, right? Because you're moving one step down for each one of them, this is also thinking that you're telling Excel is thinking that you're going to move this one step down as well, right? So for this one, it's 2 steps down, this one's 3 steps down, and so on and so forth, right? Now to fix that, I'm going to show you guys a trick. So let's delete this. This is all wrong, right? To hold its place, is you put a dollar sign in front of the letter and you put a dollar sign in front of the number, right? So this B3 is what's going to be moving because the states are going to be moving for each one of them, right? But the total, right, that's your B9, this one right here, that's going to stay locked. And to lock it, you put dollar signs in front of the letter and you put dollar sign in front of the number. Hit enter, right? This is not going to change. You swipe it down, you see how this is now B4 divided by B9, B5 divided by B9, B6 divided by B9, and so on and so forth. This dollar sign locks it in, right? And we could always convert it to decimal, right? Convert a decimal into percentage by highlighting, clicking this percent sign, turns into a percentage, right? And again, remember, if you want to increase the percentage, if you want to increase the decimal places, you could do this, right? So I'll leave it as a whole number. Now, if I wanted to create pie chart, this is how I would do it. I would simply select this area, right, including the state and number of new card. Oh, this should be new green card, right? Not just new card, new green card holders. All right, I'm going to stretch this again, right? I'm going to, not the total because I don't want the total coming in, right? Insert pie chart, it's going to look like this. And you can play around with this. There's a bunch of different ways, right? This one's really nice. I like it because it tells you not only the percentage, but it tells you the states and it tells you the percentage, so it's nice, right? And you could use it to verify with your work. You see, for example, blue is California, 32%, light blue is Texas, 17%. So it kind of verifies if you're doing it correctly or not, right? I like this one a lot because it gives you a lot of information. And just to be, I wrote this in shorthand, right? But just to be more formal, you want to write number of green card holders in 2018, right? So this is your nice pie chart that you could use for your integrated assignment. Very similar idea, so you could use that. Now, when I mean create a table, this is basically what the table is, right? Remember, you just go like this, go like that, right? Put borders, and that's your table right there. This is your graph right there, right? So this is what I'm expecting when I'm talking about the table over here, and this is a pie chart. And then when you create a line graph, you have multiple lines in one pie, not pie graph, when you create a line graph, right? You have multiple lines in one chart. Make sure you label your axis, right? There's multiple, again, you could do it through this plus button, or you could go to chart design and go from add element, right? You could do that to add your axis titles, have an appropriate title for the line graph, have an appropriate title for the bar graph, right? And use those to help you for integrate assignment 1. All right, guys, if you like the video, just if you have any comments or anything, make sure you say that in the discussions and keep me updated on everything that's going on. All right, take care.